He threw that patch on, make it look like he was in a club, but he was never in a club.
They want to be able to tack like 15 felonies upon jaywalking across the street. This outlaw motorcycle member was, and it doesn't matter what they stack on you.
Because they're a friend or they know somebody and they start hanging them around and making them an official hang around. Next thing you know, they're prospecting. Before you know it, they got a patch and I'm going, you've never been in a club.
His dad was a bandito. He borrowed $100 from the club. It might have been 1,000. I don't know. But his own son was 86.
I think it was from that point on, I was like, one day, I'm going to be one of those guys.
And he said, if you don't get on a stand, you're going to lose. You're going to jail. I said, I can't take the stand.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today we got a lot to talk about. Never ends. So there's breaking news. If you guys aren't aware, breaking news. They have signed a search warrant for the Pagans Clubhouse in North Carolina. So I'll bring you new details when that comes available. But it looks like the Pagans Clubhouse is getting raided in North Carolina. So in other news, today we're going to be talking, and that has to do with the Outlaw shooting down there. And we'll bring you guys details when that comes available. So today we're talking about Pike's Pub, where the viral video of the black man getting beat down by 6 outlaw members with their cuts on, they have all been charged. These are the men. I told you, mark my words, there will be mugshots, and here you go. They have all been charged, and it's not looking good for them. So 6 alleged outlaw members. I don't know why they said alleged. They all had cuts on. I don't think it's alleged, but okay. 6 alleged outlaw members were arrested in connection with Pike's Pub beating, Fort Wayne, Indiana. 6 men have been arrested for their alleged involvement. There's video evidence, so I don't know why they keep writing that word. For their alleged involvement in the now viral beating at Pike's Pub, including the boyfriend of the bar owner, according to court documents filed Wednesday. All 6 men are allegedly part of the Outlaws Motorcycle Club and were seen wearing outlaw gear at the bar that night. The arrests were made within days of the warrants being issued. On May 30th, the violent beating took place at Pike's Pub. The video, which went viral on social media, shows several white men in outlaw gear attacking James Simmons, a black man, with racial slurs being hurled in the background. Now they're getting it right now, leading to many to believe that the beating was racially motivated or a hate crime. Justin Wert was charged with criminal recklessness, strangulation, and battery resulting in serious injury. He was arrested in Lima, Ohio. According to a sergeant of the Allen County Sheriff's Department, his arrest was the first reported in connection to the beating. According to court documents, someone submitted a Crime Stoppers tip to identify Wert as the man who threw the first punch, as Simmons eventually was put in a headlock. So he is the one in the middle, the top middle. That's Wert. W-E-R-T. He's the one that put him in a headlock, or threw the first punch. Tuesday court records show 52-year-old Gerald Wade Impton was booked in the Allen County Jail on 2 counts of battery resulting in serious bodily injury. Impton is accused of punching Simmons in the back of the head at the beginning of the battery, according to court documents. Later that day, 66-year-old Douglas Robert Zuber was booked into the Allen County Jail on charges of battery resulting in serious bodily injury, criminal recklessness. According to Allen Superior Court documents, his girlfriend is the bar owner. Let me see if I can find you a picture of that guy. All right. So Gerald Wade Impton, that is the bottom right. The guy on the bottom right. All right, Douglas Zuber. Let me see here. Douglas Zuber is the bottom left. That's the guy on the bottom left. Was booked into the Allen County Jail on charges of battery resulting in serious bodily injury and criminal recklessness. Zuber claims Simmons had been badgering him for an hour after shutting down the bar for him one night for a private party. Zuber said he kept refusing and telling Simmons to pay his tab and to leave the bar. He also claimed that Simmons started walking to the door instead of paying, which is when the battery occurred. But witnesses told police Simmons was a regular at the bar and payment was not the issue. It was never about paying a tab because he always paid his tab, a witness said, claiming that the bartender was trying to abuse his authority. The viral video shows Zuber, an outlaw shirt, telling Simmons to pay his tab before shoving him back towards the bar, according to the description in the court documents. Zuber was also allegedly the person yelling the racial slurs could be heard in the video. 3 more men were also charged and arrested. Ryan McNick, Christopher Yoho, and Kent Adamos. McNick is accused of standing in Simmons' way before the assault began. McNick eventually accused of jumping in the middle of the battery, throwing punches, according to court documents. Let me see which one he is. All right. Ryan McNick. That is the top left. At the top, all the way to the top right. All the way to the right on the top, that is Ryan McNick. Christopher Yoho, that is the top left, all the way to the left. And the other guy is Kent Adamosis. He is the bottom middle. The bottom middle is Kent. So Yoho allegedly grabbed Simmons from behind during the attack, ripping off his safety vest. Remember that orange or yellow vest that the guy had on? It got ripped off. He's the one that allegedly ripped off the orange vest, according to court documents. He also accused of throwing a chair at Simmons. Adamosis is the 6th man allegedly involved, accused of punching and kicking Simmons while he was on the ground. I do remember that. Last week, Simmons spoke for the first time and said he will be pressing charges against those involved. Tips to police through Crime Stoppers poured in, leading to a handful of arrests. Listen, it was probably their own people that cooperated with authorities. It's different when you see these guys from this angle, ain't it? It's a lot different when you see them from this angle. They don't look they don't look so tough this way, huh? Let me see if I can find another video. Yeah, I could do this, right? Alright, I can't play the video, but I can go frame by frame. They're all saying alleged members. Like, they all got cuts on. What do you mean? See the guy with the beard right there with the glasses? He is... Oh, I think he shaved his beard, right? Yeah, he did. Would he try to avoid detection? He's got to be the guy in the middle, right? The guy in the middle right. Fourth guy in, I think. Looks like he shaved his fucking beard off. Yeah, the guy in the bottom left. I think that's the guy in the bottom left, right? It looks like he shaved his beard off. That's crazy. Why would he do that? That's a pretty damn long beard, too. You notice that? Look at that. This dude shaved his beard off. It's like, oh, shit. They're probably going to be wanting to talk to me. Let me shave this off. Maybe they won't recognize me. No bueno. Looks like they recognized you. His own people probably turned him in. That's how it goes. They had a hard time getting this dude on the ground, huh? That's when they fell into the table, spilling the drinks. I mean, clearly, they're on video doing this shit. Just remember, whatever you do out there, you're on video. So anything you do, look at the chairs getting picked up. Whatever you do, act like you're on video at all times, because you are. You probably are. No matter where you go, what you do, you're probably on video doing it. Hey, Rob, what's going on? Jake, how are you? What's up, Stacks? Need to come get tattooed, brother. Man, I got tons of tattoos. Where you at? Where you doing tattoos from? I used to be a tattoo artist in my former life. I still have my tattoo machines. That's crazy. So this is some serious shit. Them getting arrested is pretty serious. This isn't just gonna go away, you know. Let me see if I have some other videos I could play for you guys. Yes, I do. Do have a video for you.
Tonight with continuing coverage of the viral attack on a man at Pike's Pub. This afternoon, the victim in that video spoke to the media for the first time. Fox 55's David Tillmans has more details.
I'm here outside the Allen County Courthouse where earlier this afternoon, Carlton Lynch, a pastor and activist, spoke alongside James Simmons, the man who was seen attacked in that viral video out of Pike's Pub last week. The video shows Simmons being assaulted by a group of men wearing jackets for the Outlaws motorcycle club. Simmons arrived at the press conference today after meeting with investigators, and he hopes for the investigation to look not only into the assault itself and his attackers, but also into the involvement of the owners of Pike's Pub, who Pastor Lynch says has ties to the Outlaws.
this was not a fight, it was an attack. That James Simmons was never a threat to anyone that was in the pub.
Well, listen, let me make one thing clear, that these motorcycle clubs are not criminal enterprises. They're motorcycle clubs. So anyone trying to sway that narrative, it's bullshit. They are not criminal enterprises. They're motorcycle clubs. Maybe there's some bad apples here and there, but they're not criminal enterprises as a whole. They're not. They are motorcycle clubs. And here and there, they got some bad actors that do some crazy shit. And I don't think the club as a whole agrees with a lot of stuff that some of the members maybe do.
I didn't know that the city would react like that.
See, he didn't want to press charges when it was just the cops asking him questions after this all happened. He did not want to press charges. Now I find it funny that now he wants to press charges. Now it's a different story because it's kind of like a big deal. He's got all these people on his side, and he probably like, I'm going to press charges now. But when it was him at the club, when the cops came, he's like, no, I ain't pressing charges. I'm just going to walk away. I was like, damn, he's not pressing charges? And now, boom, he's like, I want to press charges. And they're saying he has some pretty bad injuries, and we're going to go over what his injuries were. I have a list of his injuries. We're going to go over that in a minute.
I didn't know I was so supported. I just want to make sure this don't happen to nobody else.
Yes, sir. The investigation is still ongoing. No charges have been filed at this time. As prosecutors say, they are still looking for information about the assault. If you have any information about this case, Lynch, Simmons, and city and county leaders urge you to come forward. You can share that information with the Fort Wayne Police Department, or you can call Crime Stoppers. Reporting from the Allen County Courthouse, I'm David Tillman.
So, yeah, that was the victim that spoke for the first time after the incident happened. Yeah, that's what he's thinking. I'm getting paid. Apollyon, what's going on? So loud, what's good? That's exactly what he's thinking. Jamie, how are you? He's thinking, I'm getting paid. And that bar is hit. They're done. They aren't ever going to open again. Some people were saying, yeah, they're going to open again. No, they ain't. They ain't ever opening. Consider that bar a done deal. All right, so this is the victim's injuries. A blood vessel in his eye burst. He had significant cut on his tongue that required additional medical attention. He had head injury. He had several bruises and a large patch of skin scraped off from his elbow almost to his wrist. The victim told investigators that he couldn't breathe during the attack because he was in a chokehold, and said his back and his legs were sore from the incident. So those are all his injuries. And we're going to go over each person again. Here, I'll show you guys this. Now, these are the 6 suspects. This is the first guy. So, prosecutors charging Justin Wert with felony battery and strangulation as a misdemeanor criminal recklessness on Thursday, nearly 3 weeks after the May 30th attack on James Simmons. A widely shared video of the battery shows several white men identified by police being affiliated with the Outlaws Motorcycle Club beating Simmons, a black man, and using racial slurs. See, now this one's a little different. They're saying that they were using racial slurs, but they were clearly coming from the table that was recording. So, I mean, you can't really speculate unless you were there. But this is Justin Wert. He was 35 years old. Corabruso, Corabusco has been arrested in the May 30th attack on James Simmons at Pike's Pub. So that's him right there. Now, Wert was seen in the video getting in Simmons' face and speaking aggressively to the victim, according to a probable cause affidavit written by Allen County Detective Wallin. Allegedly threw the first punch that started the attack. Wert put Simmons in a headlock, and other men in outlaw attire kicked and punched him, according to court record. The victim said the headlock impaired his breathing. Douglas Zuber, 66, that's him right there, spoke with police alongside the bar owner the night of the battery. Court records show he claimed that the victim requested to have a private karaoke night at the bar and would not take no for an answer. So that's him. This is Douglas. And he's the guy that shaved his beard. He had a big-ass beard. So what do you guys think about that? That's a little telling, isn't it? Hey, Lindsay, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Appreciate it. His beard was huge before he cut it. So it says that he spoke with police. See, I don't know how it is in the Outlaws, but apparently if you're in the Hells Angels, you cannot talk to the police like that. You cannot give them a statement. You can't talk to them, tell them anything. But this guy talked to the police. It says Douglas Zuber spoke with police alongside the bar's owner. So they were both talking to the police, the owner and this guy. Now, what do you guys think about that? Is he supposed to be able to talk to the police? Zuber claims Simmons tried to leave without paying. That he told the victim to pay his tab, and that's when the battery occurred, according to court documents. The video was seen, he was seen shouting at Simmons to pay his tab and then shoving him towards the bar. During the battery, Zuber was seen yelling, beat that mother, beat him, beat him. Court records show he's been charged with felony batter, misdemeanor criminal recklessness. I mean, how much time in prison do you think they're really going to get? These aren't like extravagant charges. It's not like they were charged with a hate crime. So I don't see this going very far. What are they going to get, a year in prison? So Ryan Midnick, 44, was seen in the video confronting Simmons, aggressively pointing at him and pushing him, court documents say. During the battery, Midnick, identified by witnesses as the short man seen in the video, jumped into the middle of the group and threw punches. That's this guy. Just before the video cut out, Minnick was seen putting hands near Simmons' neck. He had been charged with felony battery and misdemeanor criminal recklessness. So that's the guy right there. He's 44 years old. He was seen confronting Simmons, aggressively pointing at him and pushing him. Jared Impton, 52. That's this guy, was seen in the video throwing punches at the back of Simmons' head, according to court documents. He has been charged with felony battery and misdemeanor criminal recklessness. This guy, Christopher Yoho, 42, was seen ripping Simmons' yellow safety vest off his body. Court documents say he allegedly threw a chair at the victim while others attacked him on the ground. He's charged with felony battery and misdemeanor recklessness. Kent Adamus, 64, was identified as someone who said she knew him. So they identified him, like people that know this guy identified him. The Zuber bar owner for years. She knew him and the Zuber bar owner for years. Court documents show in the video he was seen kicking Simmons as he is being held down. Adonis, I don't know how to pronounce that, was charged with felony battery, misdemeanor criminal recklessness. Zuber, Impton, and Yoho, Minnick, and Adonis are being held at the Allen County Jail in Indiana. Wert is being held in the Allen County Jail in Ohio. Oh, they got jails named the same thing in Ohio and in Indiana. This case shows how law enforcement agencies work together and can achieve fast and effective results, Allen County Sheriff Troy Hirschenberger said. There's no place for violence like this in our community. And then we have the video where the victim spoke out for the first time. You guys want to see that again? There you go.
Tonight with continuing coverage of the viral attack on a man at Pike's Pub. This afternoon, the victim in that video spoke to the media for the first time. Fox 55's David Tillmans has more details.
I'm here outside the Allen County Courthouse where earlier this afternoon, Carlton Lynch, a pastor and activist, spoke alongside James Simmons, the man who was seen attacked in that viral video out of Pike's Pub last week. The video shows Simmons being assaulted by a group of men wearing jackets for the Outlaws motorcycle club. Simmons arrived at the press conference today after meeting with investigators, and he hopes for the investigation to look not only into the assault itself and his attackers, but also into the involvement of the owners of Pike's Pub, who Pastor Lynch says has ties to the Outlaws.
This was not a fight, it was an attack. That James Simmons was never a threat to anyone that was in the pub.
I didn't know that the city would react like that. I didn't know I was so supported.
He's like, now I know I could get some money. They told me I could get some money, so I'm going to own that bar. He's probably going to own that bar. No bullshit.
I just want to make sure this don't happen to nobody else.
Yes, sir. The investigation is
definitely terrible what they did to him. They didn't need to do that.
Still ongoing. No charges have been filed at this time. As prosecutors say, they are still looking for information about the assault.
Took a long time for them to even file charges against these guys. So, in other news, and this is a result of this situation, so Pulaski County motorcycle rally has been canceled amid safety concerns sparking controversy. The Mid-Missouri Route 66 Roundup Rally was scheduled to take place June 20th through the 22nd at Pulaski County Fort Leonard Wood Shrine Club. The event was canceled by a national level of the Shriners organization. Pulaski County Sheriff said they had safety concerns and was in favor of the event's cancellation. I didn't shut the rally down. I just didn't support it, he said. Ultimately, the national level with the Shriners organization decided to cancel the rally. The general manager with Public Pulaski County Shrine Club said he was not part of the decision, but he said that they were planning issues and rumors surrounding the event. Ball said safety was his main concern. We had several incidents in the area just last year. There was a shooting between two motorcycle clubs, and then 4 or 5 months later, a clubhouse was burned down. To me, that is not a coincidence. It is retaliation. Ball said he received information about the rally to cause concern. The information included that the so-called 1% clubs known for criminal activity were coming to the area. I am very concerned with what might happen, he said. He said that the lack of support for this rally was all about safety. It was not about bikers. I ride a bike myself. It was not about the military clubs that we have around here. At the end of the day, my job is to keep our county safe. Ball also said the lack of communication between event organizers and local law enforcement contributed to him not supporting the rally. There is no law enforcement involvement in this event, he said. He added that he believed when the rally first briefed to Shiner's organization to host it, it was set up to be something different than the intelligence I was receiving. A statement on the rally's Facebook page said that the group felt the event's cancellation was due to sabotage or jealousy. The fallacy that all bikers and motorcycle clubs are criminals and up to no good. The news has reached out to the group for comment and did not hear back. Ball's information he received throughout this process led to another development. With that intelligence that we've gathered, it opened up the door to proceed with reopening an arson investigation, he said. The sheriff's office resumed the investigation of the fire involving the Wingman Motorcycle Club in 2004. And they have a picture of the guy pouring gas on the clubhouse. And I'm going to show that to you now. Here is the picture of the guy pouring gas on the clubhouse. Pulaski County and surrounding counties, we need your help. It's a long shot, but maybe you can recall a small detail in this photo has been never been released to the public until now. It says, take a good look. So they're looking for information about this arson. And it's still unsolved. So it's definitely a retaliation thing. So in other news, there's so much going on. As I said before, they have signed a warrant for the Pagans Motorcycle Clubhouse in North Carolina, and I will bring you information as it comes in. It looks like they're raiding the clubhouse due to the Outlaw shooting out there in North Carolina. So things are shit is hitting the fan out there. Because as you know, the shooting at the clubhouse, which killed an outlaw, I believe he was a member. People are saying he was a member, the Chadwell guy or Cassell guy. Dispute between pagans and the outlaw proceeded deadly clubhouse shooting, police say. Investigators in the Chattawaba County were looking into the rival motorcycle club called the Pagans after a deadly shootout at the Outlaws clubhouse last weekend. They learned from law enforcement that there's been issues between the two groups. In the minutes after the shooting, dispatcher alerted police in the area rival motorcycle club could be involved. Use extreme caution when interacting with the vehicle, possibly conducted by rival motorcycle club, the Pagans. The dispatcher could be heard on the radio saying after the shooting, the Outlaws clubhouse on Wednesday, we could see some of the gunfire struck a metal fence around the building. Since the shooting, neighbors and businesses have been on edge. It makes me feel a little uneasy because I do have children and we do live nearby. Other than that, it's just scary out there in the world today, said a neighbor. A barber at Flip's Barbershop down the street. Police also confirmed that prior to this weekend shooting, members of the Pagan was shot while riding his motor by the Outlaws clubhouse last November. So a Pagan was riding by the Outlaws clubhouse, the one that got shot up, and he was shot. So he was riding his bike by this clubhouse, and they shot him. So, of course, this is going to spill over. I mean, what was he doing wrong? Riding by the clubhouse? Is he not allowed to ride by the clubhouse? I think these clubs can get along. You know, they got to set all this shit aside and not let this beef spill over. I mean, there's no room for any of this. They can get along. They can cohabitate in the same town and not have a problem. They're all the same type of people. I mean, if they took their cuts off, they would like each other. Some of it is they have to inherit problems just because they're a part of a club. That happens when you're a part of a gang too. When you join a gang, you just inherit the problems. Not saying that motorcycle clubs are gangs. I'm just drawing the similarities because they're not. Now, this is a picture from, I believe, the next morning after the shooting. There's members there from Florida, Tennessee, from all over the country. They were having I think it was a 23-year anniversary at the clubhouse that night. Police were surveilling this scene. And I believe they watched this murder happen and they didn't stop it or anything. It's pretty crazy. So there is a reporter on Facebook who knows quite a bit about what's going on here. And I'm going to read some of the comments that are on this Facebook page underneath this shooting post. We may not want to be public with what you know, someone said. You may not want to be public with what you know. Someone else says, I have been a 3-piece MC member, and I can tell you that trouble comes. When comes, you handle it. When trouble comes, you handle it. If local Leo did their jobs correctly, then the MC world wouldn't have to. However, disrespect is not tolerated and will be handled swiftly. The chick running her mouth about what she knows and who she is dating, just because you've been in a clubhouse doesn't mean you know club business. Running around saying you do is a good way of meeting club discipline. I love the MC life, and civilians need to understand that we live by a code. We operate with bylaws. And when a member violates those laws, punishment is handed out by the club. Crime is a crime, and 99% of the time has nothing to do with the motorcycle club. And these are some of the replies. Good to see someone who knows what they are talking about. I passed on an invitation from a chapter president to prospect for him, and we became close personal friends until the feds gave him 30 years mandatory minimum for conspiracy. Good who had faults like we all do. I miss hanging out at the shop, the house with the brothers all the time. Another person says, well said. So here's some other comments that they put on this Facebook page. This place looks cleaner than more strip clubs I've seen guys going into. But they definitely aren't gangs. Gangs would never do something like resort to violence over territorial disputes or perceived disrespect. Motorcycle gangs should be treated the same distaste as any other gang, this person says. I'm tired of them being called motorcycle clubs because people in them claim to not be a gang. Here are some of the responses that come with that comment. They are not a gang. It's called brotherhood. And if you truly knew, most of them are super nice men. You really obviously have no clue what all these men in 1% clubs do for the community. Now, when you try to hurt one of them or one of the brothers, then yeah, expect some repercussions. Tell me you're not educated with telling me you're not educated. Oh, man. The same can be said about most police departments or thug officers. All right, here's another comment. I spent decades associating in and out of that world, and I was even a member of one of these clubs for a short period of time. At the end of the day, the saying is true. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Even what Jesus said, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If this is the world you chose to live in, you got to expect you're going to come across paths with some of these events sooner or later, up to including imprisonment or losing your family or even death. A crime is a crime, laws are laws. No one's stuck to the code here, guys. If you know, you know. Has the police chief in Newton had anything to say? Of course not, because they were watching this go down. Oh, there's 2 replies to that comment. Let's see what they have. I find the Newton police page, Facebook page, and ask them personally, if you want to change things, it's important to make sure several people do the same and call the news station the mayor. This is the only way to get these groups to stop with the violence like this and return to making a move in silence, not violence. Warm weather and drugs do not help with this, though. I am surprised you don't already know. He supposedly is at a funeral. I believe his mother's son has been told. I don't see why any of this is anyone's business other than the club's business. If you aren't part of the club, then why put your nose into their business? Let them handle their own issues, someone said. Well, when it's publicly, when it's a public story, I just report on the stories. I mean, a lot of these people that are commenting have no clue what they're talking about. This is definitely a story I wouldn't want to poke around in, period, some woman said. It's funny how the outlaws profess their hatred for law enforcement, but when something bad happens, the first thing they do is call the police. They didn't have to call the police, lady. They were already across the street. Someone says justice for Jordan Cassell. Thoughts and prayers go to the victim. So someone says here, if you don't know who was involved, probably not a good idea. Say random clubs' names cause more issues. Now, what do you guys think? The dispatcher, was she saying the other club's name to start issues, do you think? Or did she know something? Was she told something by a caller? Like, why do you think she threw that other name into the mix? Do you guys have an idea? Let's take a look at that call.
213.
Go ahead.
1605 North Main Avenue, 1605 North Main Avenue. It's going to be Outlaws, shots fired. Per county, at least one person hit.
10-4 on 18.
Zero. 40.
17. 15 site. Do you know if there's shots still going on?
I don't have that information at this time. County called that in and said they got EMS en route. I'm on the phone with someone now who's saying a gray Suburban just took off from that area moments before. Trying to get more information.
10-4. 13's coming out 23.
14's coming 23.
Heard. Person on scene. CPR's in progress. 2 victims. 1 to the throat, 1 to the arm.
What?
Sierra 11 FA HP Newton, special attention to comments surrounding reference officer safety. Attempt to locate a suspect vehicle from a shooting incident that occurred at the Outlaw Clubhouse in Newton. Suspect vehicle is a gray or silver Chevrolet Suburban, last seen traveling northbound on NC Highway 16 Business in Newton. Unknown number of occupants, but several shots were fired with injuries sustained. Use extreme caution if interacting with a vehicle matching this description. Possibly conducted by rival motorcycle club.
Now, why did she slip up right there?
Pagans.
Why did she say the club name?
Conducted by rival motorcycle club, the Pagans.
Conducted by rival motorcycle club, the Pagans. Why did she do that? Why did she slip that name in there if she didn't have information? She was on the call before she dispatched this to the police officers. They did not release the call, but they released the dispatch. So she got a call from somebody out there in the public. After she hung up that call, she hit the dispatch, and this is the dispatcher. So this is not the call. This is not the 911 call. This is the dispatcher talking to the officers.
Use extreme caution if interacting with a vehicle matching this description. Possibly conducted by rival motorcycle club, the Pagans.
Why did she slip up and she was going to call them motorcycle gang, but she stopped herself and said club? Why do you think that is? And why did she throw that name in there? Do you think the caller told her that name?
Caution if interacting with a vehicle matching this description. Possibly conducted by rival motorcycle club, the Pagans. 30 Catawba County Sheriff's Office. Station clear.
Eaton Fire Agent 2, staged in an area for a gunshot wound, 1605 North Main Avenue. 1605 North Main Avenue, staged in the area, gunshot wound to the abdomen. Patient's possibly not breathing. 210.
Newton Engine 2, Medic 3, believe it's going to be a cardiac. Still staging area, we got Newton PD en route to it.
Figure Fire 19 Engine 2, Medic 3, scene is secure. Give me 2 gunshot wounds, one to the arm, one to the chest or throat area.
And that's a dangerous thing. 2 got shot in the throat. Sending prayers out to the victims. Listen, the summer just began, and it's going to be a bloody summer. It is not looking good. So there's other news we got to talk about. So everyone's seen the craziness in California with the riots and the ICE raids and all this stuff. Listen, I think if you're out there rioting, burning buildings and throwing rocks at people and all this, you're a terrorist. You're not a protester. You're a terrorist. And you're an enemy of this country, and you should be treated as such. So there were rumors that the Hells Angels were going to go fight these people, right? Fast check. Recycled from a video does not show bikers on their way to California to back up ICE agents in June of 2025. Does a video on TikTok show bikers on their way to California to back up ICE agents in June of 2025? No, that's not true. The video was first posted to TikTok in November of 2022, almost 3 years before the protests in Los Angeles took place, to the streets to block aggressive ICE immigration raids. The video original post was documenting bikers on their way to a charity event in Pennsylvania, which led to stories confirmed in a September of 2024 fact check when we found the video being used to falsely say bikers were mobilizing to come fight Venezuelan gangs in Colorado. So now they're saying, they're using the same video, and they're saying, on our way to California to back ICE agents and deport illegal criminals. Let's go, MAGA. When the clip was used to claim bikers were headed west to fight Venezuelan gangsters, lead story conducted a Google image search. on a license plate number showed at the beginning of the clip. That led to a September 2024 video archived, which used matching details in the 2022 video. In June 12, 2025, a lead story search on a TikTok account credited posted a video November 5th, 2022. Only carried a text, Republican preparing to vote. Now, here we are. The post appeared again. And it says that they're on their way to California using the same video. Now, isn't that a coincidence? Now, I'm here to tell you that there is no bikers that are mobilizing. There is no clubs that are getting together to go stop these riots or go fight the Venezuelan gang members. It's not going to happen. So stop spreading false information. They're not getting together to do any of that shit. They're not going to stop the riots. They're not going to band together to take America back. None of that is going to happen. You know where it's going to happen? In your dreams. Because they are not coming together to do any of that shit. They are not going to back up ICE agents. They're not going to work with the police to get order restored. It's not their business. They don't care about any of that. I can guarantee you they are not coming to save the day. Okay? So just stop with the bullshit. It could be the cops that seen it happen to give the club's name. Possibly. But I think that dispatcher was on the phone. Somebody called about the shooting. And they gave a description of the vehicle. Could be the police that called them, right? Now, as I said yesterday, there's a huge event going on in Canada with the Hells Angels. I am going to have a video posted on Patreon of a bunch of Hells Angels pulling up to in front of a clubhouse. It says hundreds of Hells Angels bikers expected in Surrey, British Columbia over the weekend, police warned. Police are warning the public that there will be a significant outlaw motorcycle gang presence in and around Surrey, British Columbia, on Thursday through Sunday. The Surrey Police Service said a gathering was planned to pay respects to Rick Canonelli, founding member of the Hells Angels in British Columbia. He was a legendary member. We did a show about him. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. I think he died from cancer or something like that. But that's why they're having here's his obituary. Here's his obituary. Let me see. I think he was in the club for like 40 years or something like that. He was like a spokesman for the club. He was 80 years old when he passed away. He was in another club before he was a Hells Angel. Maybe I'll do a show about his background. But it is a funeral procession for him. And they're expecting like 1,000 bikers. – Let me get you guys a couple pictures. So this is him. His name's Ricky Wayne Serenello. He was born March 11th, 1945. He died 2 days before his birthday. 2 days before his 81st birthday. He died March 13th, my father's birthday, 2025. It says, it is with profound sadness that we announce the passing of Ricky Wayne Centinello, or Ricky C., on March 13, 2025, at the age of 80 in New Westminster, British Columbia. Born March 11, 1945, in Toronto, Nova Scotia, Rick was preceded by his father, Carl, and his mother, Lena Alice Centinello. Ricky was cherished by his loving wife, Stephanie, his brother Gary, sister Cindy, his children Misty, Jordan, Terry, Marina, grandchildren Olivia, Gabriella, Bradley, Jacob, his nephew Justin. Rick will be deeply missed by many of his family members, friends, and club brothers. Ricky was the founding member of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club in British Columbia, and he was dedicated his life to HAMC World. And that's why they're having this event for him. And it is supposed to be big. I think there's some people already got arrested up there for little disputes here and there at the bar and stuff. I believe this is a picture of him too. Not quite sure, but this is the man that was the founding member of the Hells Angels in Canada that brung them there, I guess. We got a lot more content on the way. There has been some arrests up there in Canada. The Rizzutos have been arrested. This is one of the son of a Rizzuto. And there's been arrests in the United States too. This guy. Let me get you some. Let me get you some information. The last consigliere of the acting Colombo mob boss bulked Medicare in $100 million scam. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. In the twilight of his life, Tommy Mix Farisi should have been coasting into quiet obscurity. A retired gangster with too many secrets and too many scars. Instead, the 82-year-old reputed consigliere of the Colombo crime family finds himself once again in a federal courtroom, accused of masterminding a sprawling Medicare fraud that preyed on very generation he belonged to. This week, Farisi was indicted alongside 3 alleged co-conspirators for orchestrating a brazen scheme that siphoned millions from the federal healthcare system designed to protect America's seniors. Prosecutors say Farisi still operating with the cunning precision of a mob Tartarian turned durable medical equipment into the latest racket, flooding Medicare with fraudulent claims for unnecessary back, knee, and wrist braces. The man has gone from marijuana to mobbing up strip clubs to Medicare fraud, said the federal investigators. It's the mafia's latest frontier. And Tommy Farisi has been here before. So he is screwed. This dude was coasting into retirement. He's a well-known mob figure. And now he's screwed. Now he will be going to federal prison. I'll give you more information on that too. Leonardo Rizzuto has been arrested. Him, along with some pretty well-known Hells Angels members, in a coordinated pre-dawn operation stretched across Quebec, law enforcement agencies delivered one of the most significant blows to organized crime in Canadian history, arresting 11 alleged underworld figures, including Leonardo Rizzuto, the son of the late mob boss Vito Rizzuto, in making a dramatic escalation into a decades-long battle against the Montreal Mafia. The operation, codenamed Project Alliance, culminated Thursday morning with raids across Montreal, Laval, Blainville, Shedford, Saint Lavar, Quebec City, Rosemarie, involving nearly 150 officers from Montreal Police and Quebec. At the heart of the operation was the arrest of Leonardo Rizzuto, the 55-year-old Stefano Stiletto, 57. The two men, long identified law enforcement as de facto leaders of the post-Vito Rizzuto crime syndicate. This is one of the most significant strikes against organized crime in decades, declared Marc Chabot, head of the Special Services in Montreal Police, during the tightly controlled press conference. This investigation has not only disrupted the power structure of the Montreal Mafia, but it has also resolved several high-profile homicides that have plagued the city and its province for years. A hitman's testimony that shook the foundation. The breakthrough came courtesy of a former executioner turned star witness, Frederick Sylvia, a feared hitman who once worked as the muscle behind the Montreal's criminal elite. After a daring helicopter extraction from a federal penitentiary nearly 3 years ago, Salvia flipped, offering up detailed intelligence that helped map internal workings of the mafia, including alliances with the Hells Angels and other violent street gangs. Sylvia's cooperation has a long whispered rumor in Quebec's criminal justice circles. It was the province's worst kept secret until now, although authorities declined to answer direct questions about Sylvia's role. His fingerprints are all over the sweeping indictment. So this is really not good for a lot of people up there in Quebec, and a lot of people are going to prison. But you know what this is going to cause, right? This is going to cause a power vacuum into the underworld, and there will be a lot of killings and a lot of craziness going on. So brace yourself. Summer is just getting started, and they're starting it off with a bang. I appreciate all you guys. I got a lot on the way. The GOAT, how are you? Thank you for joining me today. Mountain Woman, how are you? Mark, what's good? So Loud. Little Pope, how are you? I appreciate all you guys. Thank you for joining me today. You guys are all great. I appreciate your support. Slow Ride, what's good? Ghost Love B. Ghost Loves B, how are you? I'll see you guys soon. Have a great weekend. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. If you're out there riding, make sure you are aware of your surroundings. If you're driving a car, be cautious of motorcycles. Sleepy Joe, how are you? I appreciate all you guys. I got a lot of great content on the way. I'm getting some new interviews. So if you would like to tell your story on Chatting with Stacks, hit up my email and we will make it happen. If you have a story that's worth telling, hit my email at BillStacks2021. And if you want to support the show, hit up the Cash App at Chatting with Stacks. Every single dollar goes a long way. I really appreciate it. I got a Cash App the other day, and I appreciate you. I apologize. I forgot your name. But I really do appreciate it. You know, I put the money right back into the show. And I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. If you like this show, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you could get my videos every time they drop. And if you don't like the show, too fucking bad. Start your own podcast. I appreciate all you guys. And remember, don't be a bitch.
And all new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged. And investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.